I know of a handful of folks that got this wrong last year, and my guess is they're not alone. I want to set the record straight on a confusing new rule on simple IRA contribution limits. I've got that and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. The Simple IRA can be a great retirement plan for your small business. It used to be the main option. If you had a small business, less than 100 employees, and you wanted a retirement plan, you should have one. The Simple IRA was your go-to. Now, thanks to some recent rule changes with 401ks, a lot of small businesses are considering 401ks or adopting 401ks. They have a slightly higher contribution limit. They've got some more bells and whistles. The pooled employer plan, as well as some tax credits that are now available, are making the 401k more of an option for small businesses. But listen, if you've already had a simple, or if you've compared and contrasted the two and the simple's the right thing for you, it's a great plan. It's a great plan. It's a streamlined plan. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that a 401k has, but that makes it easier to administer, or simple to administer, simple to put in place. SIMPLE is actually an acronym, Savings Incentive Match Plan for employees, but it also is designed to be simple. However, a recent tax law change, I think with good intentions, although I hate to judge intentions when we're talking about Congress, there's a new change or tweak with the contribution limits to simple IRAs that has made this anything but simple. And I know of a handful of folks that got this wrong in 2024, and my guess is more people got it wrong than anyone would like to admit. So I'm going to set the record straight. Let me help you with that and get it right for this year. All right, it has to do with simple IRA contribution limits. And I already mentioned they're different than 401ks and 403bs. It's still a large contribution amount, but just like with 401ks, it's up to 100% of what you earn. And I'm saying that specifically here. Most people ignore that fact, but when you're working for a small business, maybe you're working part-time or whatever, so it's up to 100% of what you earn with a cap of $16,000. That's the 2024 limit. And if you're age 50 or older, you can do a catch-up contribution of $3,500. That's the 2024 limit. For 2025, okay, so if you're planning for last year, for 2025, so this year moving forward, that same contribution limit applies, but it's additional $500, just like with the 401k. So $16,500 is the limit to the simple IRA for 2025, and the catch-up contribution at age 50 and above is still that $3,500. So what's so difficult about that, right? Straightforward, works similar to a 401k. But thanks to the Secure Act 2.0, this tax law change, about 100 tax law changes embedded within that, there was an additional opportunity that created a lot of confusion. Check this out. If your employer chooses, okay, and they have less than 25 or fewer employees, then you can actually do 10% more than those stated maximums. I don't even know why they would do this, guys. It's so confusing. I love it, and we encourage people to do it, but now this contribution limit just got 10% higher for those of you that work for a business with 25 or fewer employees. If you have more than that, so 26 to 100 employees, if the company agrees to a 4% employer match or a 3% non-elective contribution, then the same extra 10% would apply. Those are different standards than the guidelines than the basic simple. Typically, it's a 3% match or 2% mandatory contribution. But if you do a little bit more than that, then this extra contribution limit gets opened up. So for this year, what that means, and instead of the contribution limit being $16,500, you can actually do another $1,650 on top of that, another 10% on top of that. So if my math is right, $18,150. And instead of your catch-up contribution starting at age 50 being $3,500, you can actually do another $350 on top of that simply because of this new extra 10% rule. So you can see where the confusion is. And not only is this sort of an obscure calculation that leads to sort of non-even numbers, this was not widely known or widely communicated or widely publicized. So even if your small business knew about this and tried to implement it, it's likely that the payroll company that they used maybe didn't know about this because of how obscure this is. I had one situation where the client was well aware, they're small business owners, we'd coached them on this, we told them this was changing, we told them that we'd be adjusting their contribution limit, and they even called the payroll company to confirm, yep, you've got this in place. They said that they were on the phone with the payroll company for over 2 hours working with them on this. And yes, yeah, okay, we don't, they didn't understand it at first. They finally understood, blah, 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 and said, okay, submit the payroll. They submitted the payroll and they had the normal limit applied. The payroll company did not actually allow them or did not adjust or update things so that they could contribute the additional 10%. The clients came to me and said, well, what can we do? Can we just write a check and do it? No, your simple IRA contributions have to be funded through payroll. So very, very confusing rule, but it is the law, right? You should be able to do this, and hopefully even after some payroll companies or some businesses stub their toe on this rule in 2024, hopefully it's more widely known and more widely implemented in 2025. But wait, there's more, and like more in a good way in that you have more choice, but more in also a bad way in that it gets even more confusing, because also starting this year in 2025, it's not just 401ks and 403bs that have the super catch-up that applies at age 60, 61, 62, and 63. Simple IRAs have the super catch-up as well. So if you're age 60, 61, 62, or 63, your catch-up contribution during those few years for the simple IRA, instead of being $3,500, is actually going to be $5,250, plus another 10% on top of that if you qualify. So guys, this simple IRA is just gotten really not so simple. But here's the thing. Work with your certified financial planner. Number one, be aware of these rules, and hopefully this video helps you with that. Number two, confirm with your certified financial planner, yeah, let's do this. One of the other changes that recently came from the Secure Act 2.0 with simple IRAs is you can do simple, like Roth simple IRAs now. And so confirm with your CFP, well, should I do this extra, this extra contribution? Should it be pre-tax? Should it be Roth? And then you got to work with your employer. And maybe your employer needs to be working with their payroll provider to ensure that you're set up and you're able to do this extra 10% if you so choose. So work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.